and welcome to this new moon in Pisces yoga class with me, Dee. New moons are often seen as a time to set intentions. And with this new moon being in the watery energy of Pisces, we have the opportunity to focus on connecting to our dreams, spiritual exploration, finding creative outlets, giving back, inspiring others, forming supportive alliances, and expressing empathy so people feel seen and understood. The zodiac sign of Pisces rules the feet, the pituitary gland, which provides hormone production, and the pineal gland, which provides us melatonin production. Pisces is associated with the svadhistana chakra. With all this in mind, I've created today's 1-hour class focusing on movements that will target these areas of the body, a pranayama practice to balance our energetic bodies, and a meditation to explore how you can step up practices that benefit your mind and emotions to hit a goal that is close to your heart. For this class, you may consider having blocks or a stack of books, a thick towel or blanket, and a strap, a hand towel, or even a tie. The blocks and thick blanket or towel can be used to help bring the earth up to you. The strap, hand towel, or tie can be used to extend your reach in some poses. When you're ready, I welcome you to gather your props, hop into something comfy, and we'll get started. To begin, let's find a comfortable seated position. You can have the legs crossed, one foot in front of the other, or you could sit on a blanket or block to help raise the hips. Do what works best for you in this moment. As we transition into this practice, I want to note that you are the expert of your own body. I am solely a guide. If there is ever a time during this class, or any yoga class for that matter, that you feel pain, strain, or emotionally distraught, please honor yourself and do what is needed to take care of you. As you're ready in your comfortable seated position, Sukhasana, I welcome you to practice a pranayama with me. Today, we'll be practicing the Nadi Shodhana pranayama, also known as alternate nostril breathing. I will model this technique first, and then we can practice it together. There are many ways to practice the Nadi Shodhana, but all require concentration on inhaling, holding, and exhaling through one nostril at a time. Some contradictions to consider before practicing the Nadi Shodhana pranayama. For those who are pregnant, who have high blood pressure, heart disease, or glaucoma, do not retain the breath during this practice, which means do not hold the breath at any point. If there's ever any discomfort during any pranayama practice, please stop the technique and begin to breathe naturally, noticing your breath. To practice this technique, take your dominant hand, I'll be using my right, and drop the index and middle finger down, leaving the thumb and all the other fingers straight out. Place either the thumb or ring finger on one nostril. I'm doing my thumb on my right. Make sure to close the nostril. Inhale through your open nostril. Hold the breath for just a moment. Switch the fingers, closing the other nostril. Exhale out the open nostril. Inhale through the same. Hold. Switch fingers. And exhale out the other nostril. If while practicing this pranayama you find that one nostril is a bit clogged, instead of fully closing the nostril, just gently place your finger over it, allowing air to still flow through. What I modeled for you was just one round of the Nadi Shodhana. As you're ready, let's practice together. Placing your finger on one nostril. Inhale. Hold. Switch. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Switch. Exhale. Continue at your own pace for a moment. And if you'd like, you can try to extend your exhales, making them longer than the inhales. If it feels comfortable, you can close down the eyes or have a soft gaze at a point a few inches in front of you. As you practice this Nadi Shodhana, I invite you to acknowledge the land on which you reside and the people who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. If you know the names of these peoples, you can name them now. If you don't know their names, that's okay. You can take time after class to research. As you continue your Nadi Shodhana pranayama, let us also acknowledge the land of yoga's origin, India, and all the teachers and students who have kept this spiritual wisdom alive for us to be able to practice here today. As long as it feels good, continue the Nadi Shodhana for a few more moments. As you're ready, on your last exhale, release the pranayama and begin to breathe naturally. I invite you now to take note of the breath. Notice how it feels going in and out of your nostrils. Notice the subtle movements your body makes as you breathe. When you're ready, you can allow the eyes to gently flutter open. Wherever you are in your Sukhasana, I invite you to bring the bottoms of your feet together in front of you. Knees are bent out to the sides. You can hold the toes, the feet, the ankles, or shins with your hands. On your next inhale, reach the top of the head towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at the hips forward any amount. It may feel nice here to place blocks underneath the thighs, or you can use a block to prop your head up. Placing it in front of you, allowing the forehead to touch the block. Check in with your body and ask what it needs in this moment. As you're ready, on your next inhale, come back to center, raising the head and chest to align, head over shoulders, shoulders over pelvis. I now invite you to place the bottom of the right foot on the mat and bring your left foot underneath your bent leg. Attempt to bring the left foot as close to the outside of your right hip as feels good. Place the right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Inhale, hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, twist to the right, placing your left hand on the ankle or shin of the right leg. Right hand on the mat behind you. If you can't reach the mat, you can place your left hand on the small of your back. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale a bit deeper into the twist if it feels good. Your gaze or drishti can be towards the right or straight behind you. On every inhale, attempt to raise the crown of your head towards the ceiling, and every exhale a bit deeper into the twist. Breathe. On your next exhale, release the pose, and we'll do the same on the left side. Bring the bottom of your left foot to the mat. Bring your right foot underneath your bent leg, heel touching or as close to the outside of your left hip as feels good. Place your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. Inhale, hands toward the ceiling. Exhale, twist to the left, placing the right hand on the left ankle or shin, left hand on the mat behind you or the small of your back. Inhale, top of the head towards ceiling. Exhale, deeper into the twist. On your next exhale, release the pose and extend your legs out in front of you. Knees can be bent as much as you like. Inhale, top of the head towards ceiling. Exhale, hinge at your hips, leaning forward any amount. Hands can be on the mat at the sides of your legs. They can be on your shins or reaching for the ankles or toes. Find what feels good here. If you like, you can always utilize a block here. Place it on top of your thighs so that your forehead can rest on it. Exhale back to center, aligning head over shoulders, shoulders over pelvis. I now invite you to stretch your legs out wide and bring your right foot in towards your groin. Inhale, top of the head towards sky. Exhale, ground down into your sit bones. As you're ready, lean left any amount and twist your upper body to the right, opening your chest. Reach the right hand up and over your head towards your left. You can rest your left arm on the ground beside your knee. Gaze or drishti can be straight ahead or toward the ceiling. On your next exhale, release the shape and switch to do the same on the left. Extend the right foot out wide. Bring your left foot towards your groin. Inhale to lengthen the spine, reaching your top of the head towards the ceiling. Exhale, ground down into your sit bones. When you're ready, lean right any amount, twisting your upper body to the left, opening your chest. Left hand reaches up and over to the right, and you can rest your arm next to your knee on the mat. Gaze is forward or towards the ceiling, and breathe. On your next exhale, release this shape and bring your legs out wide once more. Only go as far as feels good here. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at your hips, leaning forward any amount. You can slide your hands forward or towards your feet. And avoid rounding the lower back. If you'd like, you can add your block to place under your forehead. Breathe. On your last exhale, release this shape and gently make your way to hands and knees into Varmanasana. Position your shoulders over your wrists and hips over your knees. Press down into your palms and your shins, creating a bit of resistance here. Inhale. Exhale, curl your toes under and push your hips up and back, trying to keep the spine lengthened. Reach your chest towards your thighs, heels toward the ground. Knees can be bent any amount that feels good, and if you'd like, you can spread the hands wider than shoulder width. Find what feels good in this moment. If you'd like, you can stay here or add a little movement, bending one knee and then the other, walking your dog. If you're still walking your dog, come to stillness for one round of breath. On your next exhale, shift your weight into your left foot and raise the right foot off the mat just slightly. Inhale. Exhale, reach the right foot between your hands, placing the bottom of the foot on the mat. Then bring your right ankle towards your left wrist, keeping the right foot flexed. As you're ready, lower your hips down to the mat. Stay here in Eka Pada Raja Kapotonasana, or pigeon pose, with the chest lifted, or lean forward any amount, chest towards the mat. If you'd like, you can try adding a block under the right hip for some support. If you decided to lean forward on your next inhale, raise your chest up. Exhale, bring your right foot back in line with the left, lifting your hips towards the ceiling into Adho Mukha Shavasana. Take a moment here to breathe. And if you didn't add movement to your last downward dog, I invite you to do it now, bending one knee and then the other. But of course, do what feels right for you. Exhale, shift your weight into the right foot and lift the left foot off the mat slightly. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left foot forward between the hands. And when you're ready, reach the left ankle towards the right wrist with the foot flex. Lower your hips down to the mat and add your block if you'd like. Stay here with your chest lifted or lean forward any amount. On your next exhale, bring the left foot back in line with the right into Adho Mukha Shavasana. Inhale, allow the head to relax. Exhale, reach your heels towards the mat. On your next exhale, shift forward to get your shoulders over your wrists, coming into a plank position. Next, we will be doing 5 push-ups. And if you'd like, you can stay with your knees lifted or gently bring the knees down to the mat, shifting them slightly behind your hips. Place the hands wherever feels comfortable. I like to place the hands just outside of shoulder width apart. As you're ready, inhale, bend your elbows any amount, bringing the chest closer to the mat. Exhale, straighten the elbows. Take your time here. And if you don't want to do 5 of them, maybe only do 3. If you don't want to do any at all, you can take a child's pose here with the knees closed, arms along the sides, or knees open, arms extended. Follow what feels good, but I also welcome you to find your edge. Continue with these push-ups or in your child's pose, and breathe. On your last push-up, gently come down to your stomach. If they aren't already there, place your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, push into your palms and reach forward and up with your torso, keeping your pelvis on the mat, and your elbows can be slightly bent here. Gaze or drishti is towards the ceiling. Exhale your torso back down to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. As you're ready, make your way to a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet can be hip width apart or wider. Hands can be on blocks, grabbing the opposite elbow, or hanging. Allow the head to relax, and maybe you experiment with shaking the head yes and no. Exhale, bend your knees generously. Inhale, roll up the spine slowly. Allow your head to come into alignment last. Let your hands hang naturally or palms facing forward. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, ground down into the feet. Exhale, bend your knees slightly. And you have a few options to place the left foot. You can place the ball of the foot on the mat next to the arch of your right foot. You can cross your leg over your right thigh, stopping there, or you can attempt to hook your left foot behind your right calf. If none of those feel good, you're welcome to keep both feet on the mat. Once you decide your feet positioning, bring your right arm underneath your left arm. Bend both elbows and bring the right palm to the left palm, pressing them together. If you aren't able to get them to touch, that's okay. Just try to wrap them around each other as long as it feels good. Align your shoulders over your hips and focus your gaze or drishti on a fixed point in front of you. If you'd like, you can use a wall, sturdy chair, or table to help with balance. Don't forget to breathe here in Garudasana, or eagle pose. Exhale, release this shape, bringing the hands to the mat and shifting your feet back into Adho Mukha Shavasana, or downward dog. Inhale, reach the hips towards the ceiling. Exhale, reaching the heels toward the mat. Knees can be bent here if you like. On your next exhale, shift your shoulders over your wrists, coming back into plank. Stay here for some tricep push-ups, or gently place the knees down on the mat a little behind your hips. Again, if you're not interested in push-ups, maybe just stay here in plank. For tricep push-ups, place the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, bend your elbows, keeping them close to the body. Exhale, push into the palms, straightening the elbows. We'll do 5 of these, but again, do what feels right for you. Maybe 3 is enough. Move with the breath at your own pace. After your last push-up, bring your whole body to the mat, lying on your stomach. Ensure the hands are under the shoulders, and on your next inhale, push into your palms, reaching your torso forward and up, drishti towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulders together, down and back. Exhale the torso back down to the mat. Make your way to Uttanasana, or standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Allow the neck to relax. Maybe you try shaking it yes and no. You can also try placing the palms up underneath the feet, allowing the toes to massage the heels of your hands. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, roll up the spine slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, allowing the head to come up last. We will now move into Garudasana, or ego pose, on the other side. I invite you here to experiment with the foot placement. Maybe you try something different than you did on the right side. First, bend your knees slightly. And the options for your feet here are placing the ball of the foot next to the arch of your left. Bring the left leg over your right thigh. And to go further, you can hook your right foot behind your left calf. Find what feels good here. Remember, this is not a competition with anyone else if you are practicing with a partner, and this is not a competition between your past self. Then bring your left arm underneath your right, bending both elbows, bringing the palms to touch, or wrap the hands around each other. Find your drishti, your gaze, on a fixed point and breathe. Don't forget, you can always use a wall, sturdy chair, or table to help with balance. On your next exhale, release this shape. And as you're ready, come to a standing, wide-legged stand in the middle of your mat. Feet can be hip-width apart or wider. Inhale, arms parallel to the mat. Feet are parallel to each other. Then turn your left foot 90 degrees outward and your right foot 45 degrees inward. Spread your weight evenly between both feet. When you're ready, bend your upper body at the hips towards your left leg. Left hand can be on the left foot, shin, or a block. Your gaze or drishti either up to your right hand or down to the mat. Breathe here in Trikonasana or triangle pose on the left. Exhale your torso back over your hips. Shift your feet parallel to each other. Exhale your hands on your hips, and on your next exhale, hinge at your hips, leaning forward any amount. Knees slightly bent here, so to not lock them. And if you like, you can bend them even more. Ask your body what it wants in this moment. Hands can be on your calves, on the mat between your feet, or on blocks. Breathe here in Prasarita Padottanasana, or wide-legged forward fold. Exhale and shift your right foot 90 degrees outward, left foot 45 degrees inward. Shift your torso to the right, keeping your chest open to the side of the mat. Place your right hand on your foot, on the shin, or on a block. Gaze up to the left hand or down to the mat. Breathe. Exhale, engage your core, and bring your torso back over your hips. Turn both feet outward about 45 degrees. And when you're ready, exhale, bend your knees in the direction of your toes, lowering your hips into a squat. Bring your thighs parallel to the mat. Relax your shoulders. And if you'd like, bring your palms together at your chest. You can also place the hands on the hips or bend the elbows and bring the index finger and thumb pads to touch on each hand. Breathe in Utthata Konasana, or goddess pose. As you're ready, shift your right foot 45 degrees inward and your left foot 90 degrees outward. Rotate your torso to the left and square your hips. Hands can reach towards the ceiling, palms touching in Anjali Mudra at your chest or on your hips. Exhale, bend your left knee over your left ankle, bringing your thigh parallel to the mat. Slide your right foot back as needed. Find what feels good for you here. Drishti can be up or straight ahead. Breathe in Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1 on the left. On your next inhale, bring your right hand to the back of your right thigh and reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. Drishti at the middle of your left hand as you keep your leg bent. Take a moment to breathe in Viparita Virabhadrasana or Reverse Warrior. On your next exhale, release the hands to the mat and bring your left foot in line with the right, reaching hips towards the ceiling into Adho Mukha Shavasana or Downward Dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward to be over your wrists. Keep the knees lifted as you bend your elbows to bring your torso down onto the mat. Or allow the knees to gently come to the mat first, then bring yourself down. Hands are just underneath the shoulders here. Inhale, push into the palms, and reach your torso forward and up. Your gaze or drishti can be straight ahead or upward. Exhale, bring your torso back down to the mat. Choose your journey to meet at the top of your mat in Uttanasana or forward fold. Feet can be hip width or wider. Hands can dangle, touch the mat, or come to blocks. Breathe. On your next exhale, bring your left foot towards the back of the mat. Inhale the chest and head up. Shift your foot 45 degrees inward and your right 90 degrees outward. Rotate your torso to the right, squaring your hips. Hands can be reaching towards the ceiling, in prayer position at your chest, or on your hips. Bend your right knee, bringing the right thigh parallel to the mat. If you'd like, you can shift your left leg back a little bit. Your drishti can be straight ahead or upward. Breathe. On your next inhale, bring your left hand to the back of your left thigh and reach your right hand up towards the ceiling. Drishti at the middle of your right hand, keeping your right knee bent. Breathe here in Reverse Warrior. On your next exhale, come back to center and make your way to lying on your stomach. Take your time. There is no rush. As you arrive on your stomach, place your arms by your sides, palms facing up. You can rest your chin or forehead on the mat. And when you're ready, inhale, lift your chest, arms, and legs off the ground. Draw your shoulders back to broaden your chest. Breathe in salabhasana or locust pose. Exhale everything down. Take your time in coming to a standing kneeling position. Legs are hip width apart and hips are aligned over the knees. There are 3 options for this next pose. Bring your hips towards the heels, sitting on them, placing your hands behind you, fingers facing toward or away. Reach your chest up and push the hips forward just slightly. And if you like, you can allow the head to fall back just a bit. Option 2, in your standing kneeling position, bring one block on the outside of each foot. Inhale, the hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, one hand to the block and then the other. Option 3, in your standing kneeling position, curl your toes under. Inhale, hands towards ceiling. Exhale, one hand to the heel and then the other. No matter which option you chose, reach your chest up and push your hips forward, gently tilting your head back. Take a moment to breathe here in Ustrasana or camel pose. Exhale, gently release the pose, bringing one hand into the air and then the other. As you're ready, come to lying on your stomach once more. Hands next to your chest and knees slightly wider if it feels good. Push into your hands, straightening the arms as much as feels good, reaching forward and up with your torso. Stay here or bend your knees, attempting to bring the big toes toward each other. Reach your head back towards your feet and draw your shoulders away from your ears, opening your chest. Breathe in Raja Bhujangasana or King Cobra pose. Exhale gently, release the feet and torso back down to the mat. On your next exhale, reach your hips towards your heels. Knees can be closed or out wide, arms along your sides, palm up or extended out in front of you. Find your balasana or child's pose and take a moment to rest. As you're ready, come to a standing kneeling position once more. Hips over your knees. Inhale, reach your left leg out to the side and rotate it so that the knee is pointing upward. Inhale, reach the crown towards the ceiling and bring your right hand up and over, leaning to the left. Your left hand can come to your leg or a block. If your hand is on your left leg, experiment on its placement. Maybe you slide your hand down the leg towards your ankle. Find what feels good here. On your next exhale, release the pose and bring your left leg back into the standing kneeling position. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, stretch your right leg out to the side and rotate it so that the knee is pointing upward. Inhale, top of the head towards the ceiling, reaching the left arm up and over. You can bring your right hand to your right leg or a block. If your hand is on your leg, I invite you to play around with its placement, finding what feels good. This side may look different than the other side, and that is absolutely natural. We are asymmetrical beings. As you're ready, release the pose and make your way to lying on your back. Once you arrive, place your ankles under your knees, about hip width apart if that feels good. Bring your arms to the sides of your body, palms facing down. Exhale, engage the glutes, and press through the arms and shoulders to lift your pelvis and chest up and back towards your head, chin reaching towards ceiling. Inhale, exhale the hips back down. Inhale, exhale, lift your hips up once more. Inhale, exhale them back down. One more time, inhale, exhale, lift your hips up, and we'll hold this for 5 breaths. If you'd like, you can reach your hands towards your feet, attempting to grasp your ankles or feet. Don't forget to breathe here in Setu Bandhasana, or bridge pose. On your last exhale, release the hips down to the mat and extend your legs out long. Inhale, bend your left knee towards your chest, grasp your left foot or ankle, and aim to straighten your left leg. If this doesn't feel good, you can utilize the strap here or grab a hold of your calf or thigh. Find what feels good as you keep your shoulders connected to the mat and breathe. If you'd like, you can begin to flex your left foot and maybe roll the ankle one way and then the other. Exhale the left knee towards the left armpit and grasp either the inside or outside of your left foot. The knee doesn't have to necessarily be at the armpit, but kind of outside of the shoulder. If it feels good, pull down on the foot, creating some tension in the hip. Reach the tail of your spine towards the mat and breathe here in Ardha Ananda Balasana, or half happy baby. Exhale the left leg back down to the mat, and we'll do the same on the other side. Inhale your right knee towards your chest, grabbing a hold of your toes, foot, ankle, calf, thigh, or utilizing your strap. Keep your shoulders connected to the mat as you aim to straighten your right leg any amount. And again, if you'd like, you can add on to this by pointing and flexing your foot and maybe doing some ankle rolls. When you're ready, exhale the right knee towards the right armpit, landing just outside of the shoulder, grabbing either the inside or outside of the foot. Breathe. On your next exhale, release the right leg back to the mat, extended. Inhale, bend both knees towards your chest and wrap your arms or hands around the ankles, knees, or shins. Give yourself a nice big hug, and if you'd like, engage the neck by bringing your nose toward your knees. As you're ready, grab a hold of both feet, reaching each knee towards the outside of your shoulders, moving into Ananda Balasana, or Happy Baby. Hold down on the feet if it feels good, and reach the tailbone towards the back of your mat. If you'd like, you can experiment with movement here, maybe swaying side to side by extending one leg and then the other. Exhale, release both legs back to the mat, extended. Inhale your right knee towards your chest. Exhale the right knee towards the left. Place your left hand on your right knee and push your right shoulder towards the mat. Gaze or drishti can be straight up or to the right. It may feel nice here to place a block under your knee. Exhale, release the pose, and we'll do it on the other side. Inhale, left knee towards chest. Exhale it over to the right. Place a block under the knee if it feels good. Drishti to the left, and place your right hand on your left knee. On your next exhale, release the pose and raise both feet towards the ceiling. Align your ankles over your knees and knees over your hips. Hands can be at your sides, palms down for support. If you'd like, you can practice this shape at the wall, scooting your hips as close to the wall as you can, raising both feet up the wall. Whichever option you chose, breathe in Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall. When you're ready, release this shape, bringing the legs back down to the mat, extended. Allow your feet to naturally turn outward. Arms can be at the sides, palms facing up or down, whatever feels best. When you're ready, inhale down into your belly. Exhale out your mouth with an audible sigh. Do this 2 more times at your own pace. And on the exhale, allow any tension to be released from your body. After your last deep breath, allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Take note of how the air feels moving in and out of your nostrils. Notice the subtle movements your body makes as you breathe. As you lie here in Shavasana, I welcome you to bring to your mind's eye a goal that is close to your heart. This could be anything that you truly desire. With this goal in mind, I now invite you to think about the actionable steps that you need to take to reach this goal. We are just brainstorming here, nothing has to be set in stone. Now ask yourself, what are 2 to 3 practices that will benefit my mind and emotions to hit this goal? Allow the answer to come to you. Don't try to force it. And if nothing arises, that's okay. You can always journal on this subject after class. As you're ready, take a deep breath down into your belly, exhaling out the mouth with a sigh if it feels good. Begin to make small, gentle movements, coming back to your body and to this present moment. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe you take a big, good morning stretch. When you're ready, roll onto your favorite side using your bottom arm as a pillow. I welcome you now to take a moment to offer some gratitude for yourself, making time to move your body and to create the connection between your mind and your body. You can also offer your gratitude to the moon if you like, and of course, anything else that you might be grateful for today. As you're ready, place your top hand palm down in front of your chest. Pushing into your hand, raise yourself up into Sukhasana, or a comfortable seated position. Join me in placing your palms together at your chest, bowing your forehead to your fingertips. I thank you for joining me for this new moon in Pisces yoga class. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future moon yoga classes. I would love to hear from you on how you got on during this class. Please share in the comments below. Happy new moon, y'all. Blessed be.